This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
Hello, Optavia. I am Leslie Begin, and I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. I am a certified health coach with Optavia, and these calls were a staple in my health journey when I went on program the first time several years ago. And I used these calls to really just grow in my skills at becoming a healthy person, to grow in my habits of health. And so as people are filling the room, I would love to know something about you. I want to know what was the first reason why? Where did you hear about Optavia? What made you reach out to your coach for the first time? So give me some of those answers below. What was the way that you first heard about Optavia, and why did you reach out to your coach for the first time? These are fun. I love to see these answers. I see so many like, saw my friend change. I saw it on social media. So great. I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Look at that. Look, oh, you know what I see? It's like going in so fast I can't even read them, but it's like friend, 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 sister, husband, sister, sister, friend, friend, friend. I mean, how cool is it that your friend or your sister or your friend from church, I just saw that, or your bestie or your cousin decided to prioritize their health, and because of that, you then were able to reach out about your health. I mean, that's amazing to me. It's this ripple effect of health, right? So cool. Oh my gosh. So I want to jump right in because I have prepared for tonight. I am so excited to get to share with you guys. And I am going to go ahead and share my screen and get the presentation going because I like to have slides. So we are going to talk tonight about your LifeBook Element 01. Okay, this is the LifeBook. Dr. A wrote this for us. Dr. Anderson is one of the founders of Optavia, and he wrote this as a one-year guide, basically. And what I love is saying, your path to optimal health and well-being, becoming the dominant force in your life. And as I have gone through this, I am in love because you know what? I'm falling in love with myself. I am gaining confidence in myself. I am gaining confidence in my story. I am processing through thoughts and feelings and using this to change my life. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, you can order it on your Optavia site or chat with your coach. But tonight we're going to talk about element 1. There are a bunch of elements, and over the next few weeks, we're going to go through an element a week and go through it together. But I feel so lucky that tonight I get to talk about being clear on why you are here. So first, the Habits of Health Transformational System. If you haven't heard about it, yes, it's your LifeBook. It's also Dr. A's Habits of Health, which is like 90% new material, very different from the original Habits of Health. There's an awesome app and there's a website, the Habits of Health website, that is full of awesome tools and resources. And tonight we're gonna just identify why you are here. Tonight we're gonna workshop your why. So it's gonna be a little different than the other Habits of Health calls. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is, while I tell a really quick story, I'm gonna ask you to grab a pen and a piece of paper, because this is all about participation tonight. I'm gonna give you a few things, but it's gonna be questions for you to answer. And I'm gonna ask for your participation by writing down the answers to the question that are true to you, that are authentic to you, that are congruent to what you are thinking and why you're here. And then I'm going to ask you to share some of those ahas or light bulbs or awakenings or ideas in the chat. So who's willing to share transparently and to participate by taking notes? Say, I'm ready if that's you. So we're going to identify why you're here. We're going to share the importance of intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is that deep down, this is why. And then we're going to explore in your words why you're ready to begin now. And that could sound a little confusing because some of you have already begun. This is why you're going to begin the next week or the next day or the next month of this health journey. What I've recognized about my why is that if you get really good at doing this for your health journey, then you're going to be able to apply these very same things to any change that you want to happen in your life. The words that Dr. A talks about in the LifeBook, literally, if you're like, I want to level up as a mom, I want to level up as a wife, I want to level up as a dad, I want to level up in my career, you can create a why that is authentic to you, that is intrinsically motivating to you, and move forward with that if you use the tools that are in this book too. So this health journey thing seems to impact a lot of other areas, right? So what is your why? Tonight, I would, you can use this workshop to workshop your why for any part of your life. However, if you are on a health journey, if that is one of your highest priorities, then I would encourage you to really focus on your health journey. And what I've recognized is that my health journey is never over. Literally, it is never over. My health journey is constantly continuing, and I'm continuing to create a new why that I'm going to take it to the next level. And the reason it's never over is that I have so many ways to grow into the healthiest version of myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. There are so many areas of health. So there's always a new goal. So I always have to have a new why for why I must reach that goal, why I must contend against the excuses and fight for that goal. And the truth is, health is so countercultural. Our culture does not support health in general. So we always have to have new goals and new whys, expand it, deepen it, strengthen it, so that we can move forward in our lives. Because if we're just flowing with culture, then we're just going to be in a holding pattern, and eventually we'll end up adopting habits of disease again instead of adopting new habits of health. So I, tonight, am going to first start with a story. I promised a story. And I was going to go into all the details of the story because I believe in starting with some laughter. But basically, some of us come to this health journey or whatever it is in life from a place of pain. Like, we know what we don't want. So I remember I was trying to think, what's a good example of a time when I was sitting somewhere and I'm thinking, why am I here? And it all involved a date in college. A date where the guy picked me up in a lowrider car, and I was wearing perfectly worn out bootcut jeans. And when I sat in said lowrider car, my pants ripped from the top of the pocket to the bottom of the pocket. And I had a fleece tech vest on, and it covered the hole. And when I got out at the restaurant, I didn't even know there was a hole until I felt a breeze when I got out at the restaurant. This guy had pulled up to a Chinese buffet. And as I got out, I said, oh my gosh. And he's like, what's wrong? And I said, I'm sorry, but I think my pants have ripped. And he said, oh, you can't see anything. I'm like, stop looking. We go into said Chinese buffet, and I have to walk down the buffet to get my food. And I'm thinking, why am I here? And then I remember the moment I sat down in the pleather vinyl red plastic booth, and I thought, I will never be in this place again. And from a place of pain, I created new standards for the guys I would say yes to on a date. And some of you, that's how you come to your health journey. You're saying, I don't want this. I'm tired of feeling this way. My husband is getting on me about not going places when he wants to go places. I am fed up with having no energy. I want to have the joy that I used to have, but I don't have it. And you're saying, why am I here? How did this happen? And you reached out to a coach and you said, something has to change. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. And tonight I'm inviting you to step away from the shame, to step away from the blame, to step away from the negative self-talk, and step away from what Dr. A says in the LifeBook, the I ought tos or I shoulds, because those lead you to finding a quick fix in a diet. And I'm inviting you to develop your why for getting healthy. Instead of saying, I'm not going to go out with the guy with the lowrider car, or I'm not going to wear the perfectly faded jeans, I'm going to say, I'm going to go out with a guy who always treats me with respect and is willing to go out of his way to bring me back to my dorm. And I'm going to start looking for that. So in the same way, I'm going to ask you, what are you looking for? Why are you here? So we can only be critical or creative. We can't be both at the same time. So I'm asking you to let go of the criticism of yourself, let go of any past failures, and come with me on a creative journey to creating your why. Are you ready? Again, tell me if you're ready in the chat. So I want to ask you, I want to invite you. There's 4 different groups here. Number 1, I'm guessing there may be more. I'm putting you in a box for a second. Some of you, you are just on this because you saw some friend post it, or you had reached out to a friend about your health journey, and I am so thankful you're here. Welcome. You just got invited to a ridiculously awesome community of people who are all working to become the best versions of themselves. So whether you do our program or something else, this workshop is going to be perfect for you to help you develop that core why, to help you move toward your next step in your health goals or your goals in other ways. Number 2, there are some clients on program, and congratulations! You are integrating yourself into the Habits of Health system with these Habits of Health calls. I am so glad you're here. And tonight I want to invite you to deepen your why and connect with it on a different level. Number 3, some of you have been on program in the past and you either reached your goal in transition or you reached one goal and then took a break. I want to invite you to find out what the next step in your health journey is and create a why that is compelling, that you can't not go for it, okay? And move forward toward that next goal and create a new why, maybe, that brings you as a vehicle to that next place. And then my favorite group, I mean, you're all my favorites. I'm not picking favorites. You're all my favorites, but I do love this group. The 5 and 1-ish group, the people who are kind of on program, the people who are like, I got into a healthy BMI, but never took it to the next level. The people who are like, I lost 100 pounds and it's awesome, but I still have 50 to go. I want to say, this is it. If you have a strong why, you are going to find a way. You are going to be able to say, yes, I am doing this, and say no to the queso. If you really work on this why and you engage with the actions I give you at the end, you will find a way and not an excuse. So let's get started. Dr. A says in his book, I would define optimal health as a state characterized by the anatomic, physiologic, and psychological integrity and optimization which supports optimal well-being. It's the ability to perform at a highly effective and satisfying level. You'll be able to fulfill valued family, work, faith, and community roles by developing the ability to deal with physical, biological, psychological, and social stress while maintaining internal equilibrium and external stability. Who wants more of that in their life? So my question is, why are you ready to do this now? Why do you want to change? And this is where you start using the chat box, but also your pen and paper, pencil and paper. You can think through it, but if you write it down, it's going to be concrete in your head and heart, and that's what we're looking for. We've got 17 minutes, and I hope you're ready to really rock it. So, like I said, it would be easy to say, I don't want this, I'm tired of this, but I'm saying, what do you want? Sometimes the easiest way to figure out what do you want, why do you want to change, is to say, I don't want to feel tired. What's the opposite of that? I want to feel energized. I want to feel excited. I want to feel enthusiastic about life. So what do you want? Add your words. I don't want to be angry every time I put my jeans on because they're too tight. I call that angry jean syndrome. I don't want angry jean syndrome anymore. Well, what do you want? I want to be able to walk in my closet, go to the back where the small clothes are, put anything on and rock it with confidence. I want to not even worry. I am going to not even worry about my body. Some people are saying, I'm so self-conscious. What's the opposite of that? I am no longer focused on myself and my limitations. Instead, I'm focused on others and what they have to offer the world and encouraging them, giving them courage because I'm no longer focused on myself and my own insecurities. Some of you, you're like, I want to be an awesome wife, but I'm too tired. And what is the opposite of that? I'm going to be flirty and fun with my husband again. Some of you are like, I'm just not the mom I want to be because I have nothing left to give them at the end of the day. What's the opposite of that? I'm a fully engaged mom who looks her kids in the eyes and laughs at their jokes and asks them more questions when they're sharing a story. So what do you want? I want you to write that down. Now, I know some of you, because I know enough people, you're censoring yourself already. And you're saying, that's silly, or I can't write that down. I've been unsuccessful in the past. Could I really do this now? I want you to get rid of that talk and take the courage from me. I'll lend you mine for now and say, if I could do anything, I would get to an optimal healthy weight, a healthy BMI. I would go to my next doctor's appointment and he would say, dang, Gina, what did you do? Okay, so you have some answers, right? Got some answers? Are you sharing them in the chat? I can't see the chat right now. If I could, I would love it, I'm sure. So some of you, Dr. A encourages in this book, may start with a concrete small why. I want to lose 5 pounds. And everything else, he talks about this, may feel like a dream to you. And that's okay. Because really in this company, we believe in moving from victory to victory. Once you have a victory or two under your belt, once you lose that first 5 pounds, once you recognize that you can have more energy in the first few days because you're fueling your body correctly, then we can create some more goals together. But now I want to take it a step further. And Dr. A does this in the element 1. So let's say you did lose 50 pounds. Let's say you did lose the weight, that you became that person you just wrote about. Let's say you lost the 50 pounds, you're energetic, you're enthusiastic about life, you're hopeful about the future, you're dreaming again because you feel so good. You're putting on cute clothes or hot clothes or whatever guys put on. You're putting on those clothes and you feel great in them. I'm about to ask you a bunch of questions and I just want you to free write on that paper, like write until your hand's gonna fall off. Imagine that you're standing there as that completely healthy, confident self, that one with energy, that one with enthusiasm, that one with confidence. What are you wearing? What are you doing? What are some activities that you would start doing again if you felt really healthy? Or what are some of those activities that you might do more of if you felt really healthy? What are some risks that girl or that guy who feels that confident and that energetic and that enthusiastic about life and healthy, what are some risks that you would take? What are the adventures that maybe you'd go on with your kids or some dates you'd go on with your spouse? What activities would you do more of with those kids and that spouse? Or if you're single, would you have the confidence to ask that girl out? Would girls, you have the confidence to say yes? Would you make more eye contact? Would you smile more? Write it down and put it in your own words. Well, how would it impact your career if you became the healthiest version of yourself? Salesmen and saleswomen, if you were feeling hot and looking hot and feeling confident as you walked into that sales call, how would it change your career? Moms, how would it change you? Maybe some of you, it would change everything. You might leave that job and create the new one, take the risk, start the dream. So will you share some of those in the comments? I think you already are. Share some more. If you've never shared something in the comments, I triple dog dare you to do it now. Share one of those whys in there. And what I want you to do is go back and expand on that in even further detail later, and I'll explain why. But next, I want to take it to another level. Are you ready? Put it in the chat if you're ready. This is my favorite level because this is where the rubber meets the road. Who is impacted if you go all in with your health and take it to the next level and you become that person you described in number 1, who's taking the risks and doing the activities that you described in number 2? Who is most impacted and how are they impacted? Who is counting on you to become the healthiest version of yourself? How is their life impacted? You know, for me, I know that, well, first, how will it impact your relationship with your spouse? How will it impact your relationship with your kids, with your coworkers, with your friends? How will it impact your community that you're around? How does it impact future generations? I know that when I felt my most healthy, when I lost the weight the first time, and I've had a couple babies since then, so I'm continuously losing weight because we have 6 daughters. When I lost the weight for the first time, I became the wife that I knew I could be. The wife who didn't throw a baby at her husband when he walked in the door and say, "Catch, baby," but instead, "Hey, baby." I became the woman that he married, the flirty and fun girl. And it was amazing how our marriage changed because I was engaged and excited about my life, and I had the best of me to offer him. I know with my kids, I had this vision of teaching my 4-year-old to ride her bike on 2 wheels. It was her dream. She had the skills. She just didn't have a mama who had the energy or the ability to run behind the bike and cheer her on. 2 weeks into program, I was that mom. I was nearly crying as I'm running down the street because I had envisioned this moment. This would be the healthiest version of myself. And it only took me 2 weeks to have the energy and stamina to be able to do that. How would it impact your people if you decided to prioritize yourself and commit to the person, to becoming that person you described in number 1 and doing the activities you described in number 2? Future generations, literally for some of you, there are addictions that if you chose to break them off your generation, it would impact future generations. If you decided to set healthy habits with yourself, it would impact your family, and your kids would pass those habits down to their generation. And they would all say, because my great grandma became super healthy, she broke obesity off of our family and gave us healthy habits to build lives on. Your marriage is depending on it. Your kids are depending on you to be an inspiration, to say, my mama, if she could do this, she could do anything. My dad, he's my stinking hero. You know what? He lost 100 pounds, but more than that, he sits on the floor and he plays games with us and he plays catch with me in the backyard after work because he has the energy to do it. Oh no, I have 5 minutes left. I'm moving on. I get a little passionate about the why and the people who need you to do it. So now here's your homework. Are you ready? Ready for it? I'm going to ask you, this is where the rubber meets the road. I'm going to ask you to combine it all together. And Dr. A has these words in his book, and it's the 3rd part of writing your why. So you can go into your LifeBook and jot this down in there. It says, I am changing and focused on improving my health and well-being because. And then you take the part from number 2, the activities from number 1, Take the activities from number 2 and the people from number 3 and combine it all together in a beautiful statement of why you must commit to this why. I'm going to ask you to write it 3 times. You can type it if that's you. Writing it does something concrete for your brain. It solidifies things. So even writing it down 3 times, put it on your bedside table, your mirror in your bathroom, and your dashboard. And I want you to read it out loud with conviction. This is important because, again, it convinces you, reminds you of why this journey is a must. You're going to read it out loud with conviction multiple times a day. As soon as you get up, right before you go to bed, and then you're going to do it again in the car. Anytime you step out of the car into an environment that may be a temptation to compromise your why for the sake of someone else. Okay? You're going to read it out loud with conviction. Your kids are going to hear you do this. Your roommate's going to hear you do this. And who cares? They need to know that you are prioritizing yourself and your health, and there's no apology for that. Coach your kids on how to do this with why they want to reach their next goal. It's a game changer for them. And then I want you to take it to another level. I want you to create 2 movie scenes in your head of those activities and of you in those roles that are most important to you in life. And I want you to imagine, like I did, running behind your kid while the kid's riding on 2 wheels, while you're cheering behind them and you're not out of breath and you're so full of life. I would sit, and as soon as your feet hit the ground in the morning, before you stand up out of bed, I want you to play those movie scenes in your head. It's going to take you 30 seconds to imagine them. Our imagination is this beautiful thing, but you need to be able to see and taste and hear and feel your goals. You need to be able to experience these whys with every sense that you have so that it's so real that you learn to say yes to becoming that person instead of no to the temptations. Because it's far easier to say yes to the person that you're going to become than it is to say no to the cheesecake. If we're constantly focused on saying no, 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 this journey is over. It's boring. It's challenging. It's a struggle. But if you're constantly saying yes, 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 and reminding yourself of why you're going toward that why, this journey is invigorating. It's life-giving. And that is the power of your why. Dr. A has an example of a why written out in the book. And at the end of each chapter of your life book, it talks about, what does this element mean to you right now? What does this element give you the opportunity to reflect on? And then what actions are you going to take as a result of this element? And so I would love for you to put in the chat again, what is the action that you're committed to taking as soon as this call is over or in the next hour and a half as a result of this element? I want to encourage you that this person that you've defined and described doing these activities, connecting with these people and showing up as the best version of yourself, that person is worth fighting for. And that person is calling out to you, saying, do it. You can do this. You were made for greatness. You're an overcomer. You've got this. You just have to keep hearing from that person by reading that why. Does that make sense? I am so thankful you guys joined me tonight. Also know that there are LifeBook element videos on the Optavia YouTube playlist. And next week, we're going to talk about really setting goals, knowing what you want to accomplish on this journey. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I get really passionate about these things because I know this is going to change the game for you and your family and your friends and the people that you show up to daily. And I know that the world needs you. Your friends need you. Your family needs you. So go out and do the work. You got this.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, Please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.